the new single from Snow Patrol and Run. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Good stuff.
On XFM 104.9.
Rick.
Go on.
I'm about to say 3 little words to you that I've never said to anyone before.
Go on.
Carl is right.
On what, though?
From Reuters, someone's emailed in, a Brazilian man who went to a clinic to have an aching ear checked ended up having a vasectomy after mistakenly believing that the doctor had called his name. He had gone in there, entered the vasectomy room when he was called. He was called by the full name and yet thought it was him, but the strangest thing is that he asked no questions when the doctor started preparations in the area which had so little to do with his ear. He later explained that he thought it was an ear inflammation that had got down to his testicles. And, the fellas came off. Extraordinary.
Right. I'm stunned.
Amazing, isn't it?
But there's lots of things that keep coming true with Carl's nonsense. There's a programme on next week. The boy who gave birth to his twin.
Oh.
And he's there, he's like pregnant with his thing, you know.
How long ago did we do that?
Yeah, you discussed that years ago.
When I talked about it, it was a baby who had a baby. Now it's a boy who's like a grown man and that. It took them ages to sort that out. I did it in one link one Saturday. With the full story. Right? Keeps happening. We've done like Donald McIntyre's thing, right? He's been ripping us off. I did Cheap as Chimps.
Yeah.
He's been doing it.
No, he hasn't.
He has. He's done some programme about how much it costs to get a monkey and that.
Right.
What else have we done?
He believes this!
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff we've done like that.
You had the maggot coming out of the head? I laughed at you, yeah. Didn't in the programme, didn't see him wrapping the head in bacon, but, I mean, the principle's there.
Bob Holness has ripped off Rockbuster.
Yeah, and he ripped you off years ago.
Yeah.
He's been ripping you off for years, which is even more annoying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yesterday, you know, Rich and Judy gave you the, tea picked by monkeys.
Yeah.
I told you about that, either last week or the week before.
Yeah, and then you also told me that there's a place where they grow coffee, where the weasels come out and eat the coffee, right? But they have too much of it, get dysentery and vomit, and they sell the vomit because it makes the coffee smoother.
Weasel vomit.
Yeah. Absolute shiz.
It's not.
Right.
When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah,
Whereas the way you'd say it.
Yeah.
No,
why do they keep taking the coffee? Probably addicted
you get
to
addicted to it, don't you? Caffeine and that.
Yeah. Why do they stick it up then? They have too much.
They're tired, they can't sleep. They sort of... So they get ill, it eventually wears them down, they're sick, and then they sell it.
I showed those there's people send monkey news all the time for Carl, and I showed him one earlier, which said there's a new monkey hospital that's been opened.
Yeah. Carl,
now, that's for the treatment of monkeys, right?
But he immediately thought it was run by monkeys in white coat. Did he really?
Yes, and he was disappointed because it wasn't. He was assuming there'd be little janitors, is that what you said? Yeah, little janitors mopping up.
Carl!
Little chimps with the ECG machines or whatever they're called. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
He was almost angry.
Yeah.
Disappointed with it.
And what's this about Donna Air giving her baby to a gorilla for a week?
It happened.
No, it didn't happen.
She had a baby, they went on the honeymoon, they left it to a little gorilla to look after.
Talk! Absolutely! Don't talk! Oh, God!
Again, there's people online now so they can have a look at Anna Nova. Do you want to give some stuff away? Do some,
He believes it and that's it! But the more these things sort of like pop up come true, the more worrying it is. The more worrying it is for everyone. Imagine if Donna Air had left her baby to a gorilla. It's libelous. You saying that? It's libelous.
It's not, well, someone will send it in a bit, and then you'll feel daft again. So I'm not even worrying about it.
Okay.
Right, you've got some rubbish to give away, did you say?
Yeah, we've got some stuff to give away, DVDs, stuff like that.
Well, let's play a record, let's do the
Any VHSs? Any films on VHS?
Yeah, a couple of them in there.
For $4.99?
Yeah.
Supergrass.
Yeah, excellent. What is the competition, incidentally?
Doing Songs of Phrase.
Oh. Supergrass, late in the day on XFM 104.9. There's too much to get through here, Rick.
Go on.
There's too many things we've got systematically.
Am I going to eat my words?
Well, before that, you know, we get emails all the time, they're coming through all the way through the show, and I open them, and a lot of them, because, yeah, everyone's contributing, it's brilliant, but we can't really absorb everything, there's too much coming through. So I tend to open them quickly, I have a look, see if there's anything we can sort of make sense of, and close them again. Sometimes Carl looks at the emails as I'm opening them. One opened just a minute ago. You saw his
Oh,
face?
his face, yeah, what was it?
His face was just stunned. He was just absolutely dumbfounded. It was
Yeah,
like he'd
what
just
is it?
seen something extraordinary, right?
And you closed it quickly.
I did close it quickly. I'll tell you why, right? Always got to bear in mind how Carl's mind works. All he saw was the name of the band that this email was promoting. So all he saw, all Carl saw, and you can imagine how excited he was all he saw was half man, half biscuit. That's all he saw.
I've never seen anyone so excited! Oh god!
It was actually just plugging the popular joke novelty band.
How are you heard of them then?
Yeah. Imagine how excited he was.
That is fantastic. Biscuit! Brilliant! Mr. Garibaldi! Oh, half man, half biscuit. That is genius. Oh, amazing.
I just saw it, and when you closed it again.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he hadn't have told you that, and he'd have erased it, next week you'd be saying, about what they've done, the scientists, they've cloned a man with a biscuit. He's got currants for eyes.
Never go swimming.
What?
Never go swimming.
Anyway, just to, I don't know what the world's coming to, but, someone sent us a link to, one of the web news pages.
Go on.
The headline, Donna Eyre to hand her baby over to a gorilla.
Well, it's not. It's not gonna be what he thinks.
Well, listen. Donna Eyre and her zoo owner boyfriend, Damien Aspinall, intend to place their baby daughter in the care of a gorilla. The couple plan to put Freya, who was born in September, in the gorilla enclosure at the zoo near Canterbury. They will then let her be carried off by the female of the group. Neither parent has any qualms about letting their daughter be taken off, despite 5 keepers being killed by animals at Howlett's and his sister's park since 1980.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, that's it. That's the news.
It's a newborn baby, and they're gonna put it in a gorilla. But I mean,
well, he said, "Why would I not trust them? I know them. I grew up with them. They're my friends."
yeah, but I'm not saying that they're aggressive, but it might roll over on it or something.
I don't know. Take it up with the with them. I mean, Donna Eyre's not the brightest spark in the box.
No, but I
it
don't
would seem
think
her husband is.
I don't think that would she'd endanger. I mean, they must know something we don't. I still can't believe they're just gonna leave the gorilla with it.
Mm.
Why would you though? But why would you? Even if it says, well, it's
cheaper than a babysitter.
Well, I don't know. Well, how cheap is a gorilla babysitter? Carl knows, because there's probably some sort of organisation.
Right, are we,
Competition then, come on then, what is it? Oh.
Songs of Phrase.
Remind us of this?
We got the film one coming up later as well.
Oh.
But Songs of Phrase is the one where I take a popular phrase from the show.
Well, no, it's not a popular phrase from the show. It's sometimes something you said once.
Right.
There's this airy Chinese kid.
Yeah. And I get all different bits of songs, so, you know, I make up that sentence, and you have to email in with the artist that you hear.
Well, what's the popular phrase then? What's this popular phrase that's sweeping the nation?
It's what we talked about last week.
Go
on. My girlfriend had a problem with a marrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. She wasn't your girlfriend?
Oh, yeah, but I couldn't find sort of
No, okay.
blind date or whatever. So, seven artists it's taken to make up this
Me
Songs of Phrase.
girlfriend had a problem with her marrow. Well, that's at least 8, so.
Well, maybe
I
not.
think I've managed it in 7. Anyway, here we go.
Oh,
What the artists? We'll look at the names of the
artists,
artists.
Yeah,
Get
what-
a pen and paper and make a note.
What artists are you hearing here?
With her Very good.
Oh, okay,
Alright,
what's
so-
more?
So, what the artist?
With her Very
My
good.
girlfriend had a problem with her marrow. We want the names of the artists. What can we win, Carl?
Just can I just recap that story? Girl can't run a blind date. But when he found out that this girl had some sort of bone marrow problem, he said he didn't want to see her anymore. What's the point in getting to know someone that's going to die?
Yeah.
So that's what you're dealing with. That is what you're dealing with Karl Pilkington.
Would you buy a car with a Duff engine?
It's a fair point. Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
of Englishness and England, it's quite a vague term, isn't it? You can play loose and fast with it. I mean, for instance, I was looking at some quotes about England, and John Major, former Prime Minister, he typified England as being a place of long shadows on county cricket grounds, warm beer, invincible green suburbs, dog lovers, and old maids bicycling through the morning mist. Very specific vision of England.
But he never came to the estate that I was born on, or Carl was, you know what I mean?
So, what is your typical image of an Englishman now?
If I had to draw it for an alien,
Yeah.
He'd be quite squat, quite sturdy, sort of no neck, hairy.
Are you just thinking of yourself?
Do you know what? It would be my build with Carl's head.
Really?
And no neck, yeah. I think he's sort of balding and unshaven, and he's like a shaved caveman. I think he's tough. He'd have tats. He'd eat like a dog.
It's the bulldog breed.
It is the bulldog breed. I am thinking of the bulldog breed. Yeah.
See, now my image of an Englishman is essentially that cliched one. It is, I think, Hugh Grant.
So you're modern. You're straight away modern
or
now.
I would say it's either mixed between Hugh Grant and Roger Moore when he was James Bond.
You see,
know what I mean?
that's another small percentage of Englishness that sort of annoys me. Those people that think they're James Bond. They think they can buy a suit and read GQ, and they're suave and sophisticated, and they get cars they can't afford. All they do is work in a bank, come home, and flick through GQ at the adverts, looking at people with wearing watches and aftershave. Who wears aftershave?
Do you wear aftershave, Carl?
Normally, aftershave is the sort of thing I let other people buy me. It's like underpants, tea towels, and sort of aftershave and that. Other people buying me.
Who's buying you tea towels?
My mum.
Right, okay.
Every time she turns up, she's got Brilla pads and stuff. I've got loads of them. I keep saying to her, I don't need any of this, but she always brings a box full of stuff. Brilla pads, tea towels, underpants. The underpants size hasn't gone up since I was 14. But I can rely on her for that.
So do you not have anything in your life which you would think of as being gentlemanly? Do you ever dress smartly? What about suits?
I bought one suit that time when you invited me to the BAFTAs. That's the only suit. I think I wore it for one other thing. I haven't wore it since. I don't feel comfortable, it's not me.
But don't you go to a wedding?
That'd be a lovely advert, wouldn't it? Him with a suit on going, I haven't wore it since. Karl Pilkington hasn't wore it since.
I don't
must
go
have
to
been to a
weddings.
wedding.
No, I don't like going to them.
I agree.
I mean, even though you know them, they don't give you any time when you're there, do they? It's just sort of, they don't know whether you're there or not. They're on cloud nine. They don't know who's around.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you don't need
It's
to be
all,
there.
with them, when I'm wedding day, it's all me, isn't it?
Well, firstly, I'm annoyed about the wedding list. I don't know when that's come along, because I don't know why I can't just bring maybe something I've made at home. No. Why has there got to be a list of stuff?
What newly married bride doesn't want a pair of homemade clogs?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But saying that, I think people very much appreciate you being at their wedding.
No,
They do. They remember if you were there.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
You don't get invited to weddings because you ain't got any mates.
No, I've got to know enough people. Everyone's getting married. But they're always in the middle of nowhere.
That annoys me when people say, come to our wedding. Yeah, fine, we're in Greece.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that drives me insane when you do go is when they put you on a table with people you don't know.
Well, that's
I got
it.
all my mates there, and they put because I got to mingle with some people. I don't care. I don't need these.
But that's what I'm not good at. Talking to people once. Talking to people who you don't know.
No.
What sort of stuff would you make conversation about at a wedding?
I'd probably say, first of all, how do you know them? How do you know the people getting married? And then, like, do you think it'll last?
Imagine inviting Karl Pilkington to wedding and going, well, where should we put him? Oh, I don't know. Is there a table for one? Oh, just
You'd be on the table with the kids.
imagine being stuck with Karl Pilkington at a wedding. Yeah, what else? So you've asked them to think it'll last. They've gone, I'm sorry? Who are you? Oh, Karl Pilkington from Manchester. Right. Yes, we think it'll last. What else would you ask? So what's your next?
The last wedding I went to, it's going back a couple of years, but everyone seems a bit snidey. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got a mixture of families there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And none of them really like each other. No. And I got stuck with an old fella who had a flatulence problem.
That sounds fun.
And then he went on to say it doesn't matter, the suit's hired. And it's just kind of...
I'm gonna die!
I just don't like him.
I love it. He's basically saying at a wedding, it doesn't matter if I shit myself.
Maybe it's that thing that I don't appreciate what I've got. But to me, being English isn't anything that great.
Really?
Why not?
Because it's just what I've been dealt with.
If you could be any nationality, what would you be and why?
Probably be Italian.
Okay. Why?
Well, just yeah, I like the idea of it. I like Italians are alright.
Where would you live? Rome?
I probably wouldn't want to be in the middle of Rome. It's too much hassle.
Have you been to Rome?
Yeah, it's nice to visit and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of old stuff.
Why have you chosen Italy? I'm interested to know why of all the countries you've chosen Italy.
I was a latecomer to pasta.
But it's one year round.
I like it now. It's like one of my favourite things I have. Which there isn't really anything like that in England. That even though it's
Well, except pasta.
Pasta's
No,
almost
but it's-
exactly like it.
Yeah,
No, but it's not.
We've got pasta, haven't
it's
we?
not ours though, is it? And we
No,
don't know
we've
how
got-
to eat it.
What do you mean we don't know how to eat it?
We do it all wrong.
You stick it up your arse again.
Look at me. I know how to fucking eat it.
No, but what I mean is, if you saw a proper Italian and they saw what we did to pasta, they would not be happy.
What are we doing wrong? Tell me what we're doing wrong
Well, I
with
don't
pasta.
know that, otherwise we wouldn't be doing
Well,
it
how
wrong.
do you know
we're doing it
how do you
wrong?
know
I've
they
just
don't?
heard we do it wrong. It's like how we have the coffee at all the wrong times. I ordered a cappuccino somewhere and the Italian fella said you shouldn't be having that now, it's a breakfast coffee.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Before 12 o'clock,
Yeah, but I was having it at like 4 to 11 at night.
Oh,
It looks
wow.
like I
Well,
was
that's
mental.
absurd. How are you going to get to sleep with a lovely cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's a
Well, I
good
don't
point.
sleep anyway.
You
yeah.
shouldn't drink coffee anyway at night. Full stop.
So, hang on. So you love pasta, but you're not eating it right, so you'd like to be Italian in order to be able to eat pasta correctly, even though you enjoy the pasta you
What
eat.
do you feel being Italian is, and what's
It's just,
attractive
it's
to
just
being...
very sort of, it's a relaxed lifestyle. Whenever you go to Italy, everyone's outside a cafe. It doesn't matter what sort of person
Carl,
you are.
that's all you do now with your spare time is
Yes,
sit outside a cafe.
But they get more respect over there. For
Why?
it. It's like, it's okay to do that. There's older people sat outside cafes who do nothing.
I
and it's
love the
just
fact that he
they're
wants to
probably
be
retired.
Italian so he can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than he does now sitting outside a cafe.
No, but everyone's rushing about here. People have like colder coffee. They have frappuccinos here because they haven't got time to have a hot coffee. It's like they've got a coffee with ice in so I can neck it. Get it down my neck and get on with my day. Relax, enjoy your coffee. I don't understand the rush.
But the reason you enjoy Italy is because when you're there, you're on holiday. That's why you're able to chill out and
No,
relax.
no.
When you say it's old people sat in some little Sicilian village. Of course they got no money.
Here, I went to the Salvation Army, right?
Why?
Because it's nice.
What do you mean?
You can get toast and a cup of tea for £1.
Go, you little skinflint.
That's just that should be the going rate, Steve. I'm surprised I haven't seen you in there, to be honest. But the thing is,
Where is it?
now, just near Camden.
What is it? Is it like old people?
A lot of old people, mainly old people. And this is what I'm saying. These are people who are old and they sat in a cafe, but they don't get any respect. People are walking past and they don't want to go in. The way you reacted when I said I was in the Salvation Army, that's the reaction they get. Yet an old Italian person, they looked after better.
Well, it's certainly true they look after their older families, don't they?
Right,
They do
and
respect
that's all
their
I'm
families.
saying. Whereas, I mean, it's a lovely place, Salvation Army. Every old fella in there's got a tie on.
Yeah.
They make an effort.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I like about Italians and that. There's a lot of.
So you want to be
Respect.
Italian because when you're old, you can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than you do here.
Yeah, look at the old people in this country. They never look happy, do they? Really. Most of the time, when you see them walking around, they go to pot. No one's keeping an eye on them.
Well, it's an important thing, isn't it? That my mum, this is when she was about 60, 65. There was a neighbour who was like, 85, 90. And my mum used to go around there every day. Do you want any shopping? Do it, right? But I remember calling her once and she'd come back. I said, what are we doing? She went, oh, I've been round so-and-so. So I went, all right. She went, oh, she won't die, Rick. Like she's helping her, but she's thinking this is getting silly now. You were meant to go years ago here. I was like,
Well, that's the problem, you know. If you get pally with an old person,
Yeah.
then you could be stuck with them for years.
and having to do stuff, you know, that's what you don't want to do, is it? You meet an old fella, and then you've got to start popping in his sort of piles or whatever when he can't do them himself. You know, what do you do if you're?
It depends how friendly you are, though. I mean, I'm just talking about someone you meet at the bus stop, as opposed to popping the piles back in. How does that happen? Jesus. Just the ones on the estate I grew up on. as soon as he got to a certain age, there was Mrs. Knowles who went mental. One day she seemed fine, next day she was chucking cans in everyone's garden. You could just hear her coming. Which was weird. Aren't you? Now you've brought up weird people. There was a fella called Shorts Man, right?
It's so pedestrian! I love that!
Shorts man wore some shorts.
Now, what I like, yeah, he did, but they were really short. They were that sort where, you know, it's almost pointless having them on.
What do you mean?
They were just, you know, like shorts now for blokes. They go up to your knees, don't they? There's no chance. There's no accident happening there. There's nothing going to pop out.
Yeah. No.
But Shorts Man, he liked it. He liked the fact that happened, and he used to walk with big strides to sort of help the chance along. So that he knew with the big strides and the short shorts,
yeah,
they were going to pop out.
Did you ever see it pop out?
Yeah.
Why did you
everyone
look at the
did.
shorts?
Just because it was like playing Buckaroo. It was like, when are they going to pop out?
But what?
It's just what happened.
So, right, but Shorts man, so he was an exhibitionist, he basically wanted people to see his veg.
Yeah. And they were out more than they were in. I mean, they had a tan. Right? Now, the thing is, what we like in England, I think we like that. We like local characters.
The eccentric.
Yeah.
Eccentric's that's very British, eccentric, yeah.
I'm glad I grew up round there with all them people, because
So
they're
am I.
interesting.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais show with Steve Merchant. Hello there.
Yeah.
And we're not here this week. We're off jetting around the world, so we've pre-recorded these links. The time is currently somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock.
So a time check there from Steve Merchant.
No problem.
Yeah, and what about this weather? Isn't it warm, stroke, edit that, Carl, cold? Okay, whichever one.
I'm pleased to see that the congestion charge has had some considerable effect. Had no effect.
So just, yeah. Wasn't that great on telly last night, the film? Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed last night's EastEnders, Coronation Street, Brookside.
Okay, yeah. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Carl.
You're going to love this one, Steve, right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy, right?
No!
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened. He lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's what happened.
Looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo.
Oh dear.
Right? So,
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So, anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. It's dangerous.
What do you mean? What type was it? Do you
Just
mean
let him tell the story.
Was it a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you
a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It was
that's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a
Okay.
chimp. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it?
So he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
Well,
him.
did they go on
and
holiday together?
well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off,
pool together.
starts off just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while, you know, they're getting on well on that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you, so he thinks, he could live at home with me, this,
Yeah.
because we're getting on the storm,
Yeah.
right? So he takes him home, and before
Is
you
this
know
the
it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
right? So
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. PG tips.
As he finishes the day off with
Oh, dear.
Finishes the day off with what?
He
with
does,
a
he doesn't
little
have to
brandy.
move a piano at one point, does
He
he?
finishes the day off with a little brandy.
Yeah.
He pours himself a... Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Carl, you're a maniac, mate.
No, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is hairless.
Hairless.
Right? Apart from his head. Right, so he's got a nice
So it's the opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right.
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if it's
How
black?
did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
Alright,
can
well,
see if
okay,
I've gone wrong.
keep going.
So anyway, so,
Wow.
so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying,
Well,
he's
it
got
gets
his
to a
other
point when he
chipmates
says
round.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me. I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary, Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well done.
So what about that?
What do you mean? What about it, Carl? It's obviously not true.
I don't understand how the
I
monkey-
love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he, that
What
is-
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing, Carl?
the fact that-
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing like Trivia Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Right.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
Oasis and Songbird. It's a nice little ditty
It's alright, yeah.
of a
It's not
Saturday.
bad. Yes, thank you.
XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I think we should go straight into it, Carl. I think we should do the competition. There's Carl in the corner.
It seems a little premature.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I
Do you
think
reckon
so.
it's safe? It's
Yeah,
so good. We
exactly.
should tease it out of
Well,
them.
it's a big thing.
It's just that I've got absolutely nothing to say.
Sure.
I haven't really.
Well, I mean, like often I know you all have spoken to Carl in the week. This week, for some reason, I've been speaking to him.
Oh, right.
I spoke briefly to him about Michael Jackson and the documentary.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I thought that was extraordinary.
Amazing,
and I asked
amazing
Carl's
piece of
opinion.
work. Yeah.
And he didn't mention to me the fact that Michael Jackson likes to climb up in trees.
No.
He didn't mention anything about his bizarre relationship with children. He didn't mention anything about his obsessive billionaire spending sprees.
Right.
He didn't mention anything about the mannequins he has in his thing, or the fact that he drives around his sort of 7 hotel suites in Las Vegas in a little kind of old people's scooter. The only thing of note for Carl was he said to me, "Did you notice how big his hands are?"
I tell you what, though, I did.
What? How you look at the man's got like a face that he's had reconstructed. Well, I can't
I
seem
know.
to say that. It's libelous.
Yeah,
But,
no, he hasn't.
He's got an
he's had two nose
face.
jobs. Yeah.
And you're
But-
looking at his hands.
But I think it's because you look at him and he looks a bit like there's a bit of androgyny there, but it's sort of like it is quite a petite sort of old lady's face in a way. But then you see these labourers' hands come out. That's always the way with a tranny, isn't it? You know what I mean?
What, you can't accuse him of being a tranny.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
What are you saying?
No, I know
He's
he's
got
not.
enough issues. Now you're accusing him of being a tranny.
I like him. I thought he came out that brilliant. I thought it was really. I really felt sorry for him. No, I think he cleared up a few things as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was a fascinating piece of work, but I did like the shopping spree. That was great.
Extraordinary, 'cause he's
just
got
going
such
around
bad
just
taste.
pointing. I know it was bad taste, wasn't it? It was like one of those bazaar shops. You know what I mean? There's anything sort of a gift shop, but they're trying to make it look like Ming,
But if
and
if
it's
he,
sprayed gold.
if he'd been living in a trailer park, he'd have been ordering, one of those porcelain dolls dressed like a Harley Davidson
I know,
bike
yeah.
rider, or an Elvis commemorative plate. It was the kind of billionaire equivalent of that.
But the hands were a giveaway. It's the same as those sort of transvestites. Well, it's like you get
What's it about his hands? What
well, you know when you get like a cab driver or something, right? And he decides to turn transvestite about 60, and he goes on Kilroy. Do you know what I mean? It's that way. He's got a twin set of pearls, and he goes, "I've never felt so comfortable." But his hands are still big. He's got a little wig, and he's got the lipstick on, and he's with his teenage kids who are going, "Kill me."
Do you think
But
he's been having surgery on his hands to make them larger?
Bigger, yeah.
Was that why he was wearing that glove?
Exactly, but I think he wants to be a goalkeeper.
Right.
And they said, well, you can't, Michael, you've got a big hands.
It would help him climb the trees.
It's yeah. And he can play tennis now without a racket.
Yeah.
So,
So what did you make of it, Carl? Were you intrigued?
The Michael Jackson thing. It's, you know, it was alright. But, like, that got a load of attention in the press. But the Trisha programme got nothing.
Okay.
Which, I know, like, well, Steve called me up in the week, right? Like 10 o'clock in the morning, I was at work. And he goes,
What do you think so at 10 o'clock?
Preparing this show.
Most people go to work about 8 or 9.
Are you watching Trisha and that? I said, no, what is it? He goes, oh, you'll be loving it, right?
Freaks, was it, Help Me, My Mum's a Freak?
Siamese twins. Right, so I couldn't watch it, but he said, oh, it might be on again, because they repeat stuff on ITV2.
Right.
So I had my dinner late, right, instead of having it at like 1 o'clock like I normally do,
Yeah.
I had it at like 2:30,
Yeah.
sat in the office, put the telly on, ITV2, these Siamese twins.
Did it blow your mind?
It was amazing. You know, we talk about a lot of things on the show quite a lot. The Airy Kids crop up a lot.
I was waiting. It's been 10 minutes and you haven't mentioned the Airy Kid.
Right, and last week we were talking about Siamese twins, weren't we? So it was weird that this programme was on, but it was amazing. I mean, what
I think you can't refer to them as Siamese twins. I think they're known as conjoined twins.
Why?
I think Siamese is maybe considered derogatory, or as an old antiquated phrase.
Yeah, I think it's because the first famous ones were actually from Siam.
Right.
And that doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's conjoined, Carl.
Yeah.
Get the phrase right.